right, Brody. Welcome back to the Tomorrow Show.
What's good? What's good, man?
A lot is good. A lot is going crazy. Obviously, we are still unpacking this Charlie Kirk situation. I think this is probably the thing that's captivating the world, man. I mean, you see, I'm still processing, to be quite honest. And yeah, man, we'll talk about it. I mean, we'll kind of unpack based on what we're seeing. It's just there's a lot of layers to this, and obviously, people are trying to figure out. Rightly so, like who did it. This shit was a professional hit job, in my opinion. It was an assassination. I don't, when it comes to Charlie Kirk, obviously I don't really know him too well, right? Like I just respect his truth telling, right? Like anyone that stands on what they believe and they're willing to have an open dialogue on it, especially in a setting like that, I think it gains my respect because like this is an outcome that could come from that, right? Like you're putting your life on the line to speak what you believe out there and serve people. So I mean, he is a martyr. He is a man of faith. So yeah, I think before anything, it's just respecting that aspect of him and then his family. But at the same time, I think there's a bigger play at hand, and I like to figure shit out. I like to get to the bottom of it. I like to because I think this is not going to be the last. I definitely feel like this was a message on so many different levels. The timing of him getting assassinated, the way he got assassinated, it just felt like it was a message. And then the orchestration behind all of it, from the guy that claimed fucking the guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm character that just claimed he was the guy, and then it turns out he wasn't. And by then, like the dude on the roof is gone, and it just seemed professional.
hmm hmm
And I have no hope. I mean, I don't have any expectations, I'll say that, in us ever figuring it out, kind of like JFK, right? It just seems
Right.
like Charlie was on a trajectory of a lot of influence, and there's a lot of players that could have benefited from this. You know what I mean? Like it's not just one group of people. A lot of people are trying to point the finger at Israel or the left or this, that, and third. And so yeah, I just want to kind of get your take on it, based on what you know so far, because we don't really know much, bro. Like it's wild, man. It's like a movie, literally. Like this
Yeah.
is like a movie, bro. I'm still a little shocked, so shell shocked. So yeah, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah. I mean, chill. It's man. Where do I begin? It's
Yeah,
definitely. All right. So I start with this because there's a lot of layers to it for me. For me, the first apparent layer is he was a content creator, right? Who he was making 50 million a year. And so he built a successful brand.
yeah. Turning Point USA, I believe is the name.
He built it, but when I analyzed that, I'm like, dang, he was making 50 million a year off spewing hate. It's like
Hmm.
people be calling the truth. I respect any
Well,
regardless.
his
Like
truth.
yeah, I
I said
respect
his truth.
anybody who gonna stand on their business though, and who willing to argue their
Yeah,
perspective and their point. That's like one of the like that's the feature, regardless of what type of human it is. I'm gonna respect. Period.
correct.
Because a lot of times people who disagree with you, they don't want to go back and forth with you on the basis, the foundational facts. So I definitely that's definitely respectful and admirable in any human, whether I agree with them or disagree with them. But and this is something that I had learned also about content creation is, especially in this era, when you have a voice and you start using and you're using that voice and that voice catches on, and your livelihood and money is attached to the voice that you have, end up some of the stuff that you're doing and saying may not even be what you really think or feel, but because the audience you have, it connects with them, it resonates with them, and you're seeing the revenue from it, it'll just make you double down. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I'm looking at it like probably some of the extreme things he said was because the audience he was catering to wanted to hear that. And it led to him getting killed. You see
Are
what
you
I'm
familiar
saying?
with Charlie and
Yeah,
his
yeah, I'm
his
very
work?
familiar. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
okay.
very
Can you break
familiar
that
with him.
down? Because
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not. I haven't really.
Well, basically,
Yeah.
basically, he was basically he's just a right wing content
Pro
creator.
Trump.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
content creator. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
people calling him like a political figure, and You can't be you can talk about politics and not be a political figure. He wasn't a political figure. He was a content creator, and
So you categorize him with like Nick Fuentes, like
yeah,
in that group?
yeah,
Because
they're
I
like
know
the
they
same.
also had like some
Yeah,
riffraff
yeah,
recently,
yeah, they're the
actually.
same.
Okay,
Yeah,
but they're
they're
in the
like the same
same.
line of work. Yeah, the same.
Gotcha.
They're content creators. You know what I'm saying? And
So
it's like
you wouldn't consider Nick as like a political influencer
that's still content creation, political influencer.
primarily. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I
So
see what
like
you're saying.
when I'm thinking like political,
Interesting.
somebody who's in politics is actually either running for office or actively
Gotcha,
involved with political activism. But they were given political commentary about politics as
gotcha,
content creators. And
gotcha.
what that showed, that first layer that I'm talking about, is that show you it doesn't matter if you agree with Charlie or you disagree with him, you have a different view. It sets the tone for this era for content creators.
Mm,
If you have a powerful voice, you have to now be concerned with the things that people in the civil rights movement was concerned with. Like, if I go to a lecture and I'm out in the public, am I going to get smoked? Somebody going to kill me. That's how Malcolm X died.
yeah, I was
He
gonna
died the
say,
same exact way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Martin Luther King was shot from a, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
So
it's
you
like,
would have considered like those would have been our modern day content creators had it been with technology.
well, they
Martin
was
Luther King,
actually,
Malcolm X, like they would have
yeah,
been similar in that
they would have
sense.
been similar in that sense, but they were actually involved with politics and
That's what I
shaping
was gonna
policy.
say. Like
Yeah,
they
you know what I'm
were.
saying? So they wouldn't have been like, the only reason I'm saying Charlie Kirk is a content creator because he's not a political activist, which means you're collecting donations on behalf of certain
Mm,
causes. You know what I'm saying? Or he's not a politician, meaning he's running for office. In this era, he's a content creator who makes political commentary. You see
but
what
if
I'm
you're
saying?
backing a certain candidate, that doesn't tie you as an activist. Like you may not run directly, but if you're like, I'm tied to the hip of Trump, pro Trump, doesn't that kind of
I was
associate you?
activism has more to do with, like, from my understanding, right?
Okay.
I'm not
I'm trying to
saying he's
understand
not in
too.
the.
Like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not that I'm not saying he's not in the space of politics. I'm just
Gotcha.
saying, like, as
Primarily.
a politician, he's not a politician, and
Gotcha.
he's not an activist, from what I understand. He's a content creator who makes political commentary about, the right and the left and what's going on. That's
But
just like,
you can still like you could easily enter into politics. It's almost like the easiest way, right? Like Trump wasn't a politician. He was a businessman, but he made really good viral content. And that was like what captivated the world or the country. And then he easily, he from there on. So like there
yeah, no, no,
is
I'm just saying that they may not be the same thing, but there's a pipeline. You know what I'm
there's a
saying? Like, if he
pipeline. Yeah,
if he wanted to run for office
he
somewhere,
could.
he
Yeah,
could. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He's built $50 million off his political
So
commentary.
I'm saying like if you're a politician, you see him as a threat. If you're not aligned with his agenda, right? Like I would think like you would have him on your radar one way or another as a politician.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the opposite side of his
If you're
belief,
on,
yeah,
yeah,
like if you're
or
on
if you're
the side of the
not,
left,
you would want him on your team and you want him to
right?
promote, right? Yeah. So
Because
there
he
is
has
like a
influence. Because he has influence.
exactly, exactly.
That's something we learned in this election, that content creators and influencers online are the go-to people to get your message out. Before, back in the
Mm.
90s, the 2000s, before content creation and influencers was a thing, it was the celebrities. You see what I'm
It
saying?
was a celebrity.
Yeah. So
Gotcha. I was trying to
right.
correlate. Was it like the news? But you're saying, yeah, you're right. It's the
Yeah.
celebrities.
It was
That's
the
like the news
celebrities.
celebrities.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So, like,
Okay.
the celebrity is not manufactured by Hollywood no more. It's manufactured by social media. You see what
By
I'm
the
saying?
algorithm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I would say, like, that's my first layer about it in general, is that, like, content creators in general, people that have political voices or talking about things that they have a strong feeling towards, have to, be prepared to, watch, protect your neck and whatnot. No pun intended, like, just like a Wu-Tang joint, but just like, you got to watch yourself, no matter where you are, or like you could be on the other side of
Wow.
what Charlie, what's his name
Yeah.
is. You could be completely against what his views is and be popular in your space, and same thing can happen to you because somebody from the other side don't like, you know what I'm saying,
Wow.
or whatever. And then there's the layer of, to me, there's also the layer of hypocrisy, right? And the layer of hypocrisy for me is the people on the right expecting people on the left, and just black people, whether they're on the right or left, to have like this overwhelming empathy for him, right? And it's like, I don't know. I'm just a realist. Like I would not expect
Yeah, yeah, you're not like
the
emotionally like invest. You're just speaking from like
yeah,
just a
because it's
fact.
like it's like when any of the civil rights leaders in the 60s or 70s got killed, I would not expect the people they was protesting against or
KKK and shit.
yeah, I
Like
wouldn't expect them to be empathetic towards what
yeah.
they to their death.
You would
And so I
expect them to
just
be happy, celebrate.
yeah,
Actually, that's what
they
you
would
expect.
celebrate. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Just naturally, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people in this country are arguing over like some real things. You know,
Yeah, I was gonna,
things that people went to war for, things that people cried about, people, families, you know, all these, this is what these people are arguing about. And so it's real touchy. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
personal.
so it's very personal for a lot of people. So
Yeah,
when your side take a L and you expect the other side to, mourn that, it's like, it's crazy. Cause he said some crazy stuff. He himself, like, this is why you got to really be careful what you say, because you can speak your reality into existence. He has a quote where he was saying, empathy. He has a quote about empathy, how he think it's like, I'm paraphrasing here. It's like
no,
let
I
me look
got you.
it up.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you. Go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
It's empathy is like a tool, like an excuse tool or something. I just yeah,
Can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made up new age term that it does a lot of damage.
right. So now the right is like have some empathy. You see what I'm saying? When the man himself didn't even believe in empathy. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
I
yeah, 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 yeah. I see what you're saying, but
now
it's go ahead,
no,
yeah,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no, no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just like, it's tough because in an ideal situation, even in war, it shouldn't even be personal. It's just a matter of like whose ideology wins, right? I'm not gonna celebrate you dying, but I'm also not gonna pretend like I'm not like this
Yeah,
isn't a war. Like this
right.
isn't like you know what I mean? Like this is
It
war. This
is
is
though.
real life. And you're
This is
not
though.
no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like and people I think when they troll online, it's like that nerdiness, right? Where a nigga just be talking online and then who was like John Jones? Who was it? Deontay Wilder that showed up in the ring with the dude, the white boy. And it's like this is real. Like you what you're saying, what you're doing affects people in real time. So when there's consequences to that, I mean, this is obviously like the worst, but nonetheless, it really, I think, is having a lot of content creators rethink the way they're engaging online, bro, as it should, right? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and we saw this with Andrew Tate. We saw what
Mhm.
happened. Like, this nigga went
Mhm.
to jail for like a year and that too. So until it happens to you or something like this happens, so it's almost like you feel untouchable because
Yeah.
it's like, bro, you're the most accessible now. Like
Most
people,
accessible. Right.
you're right. Like you have to be really careful, man. If
Yeah, you
not,
gotta
like
be
this,
I mean, you
or
gotta
if what it is, you stand on it. Like you got to know, like, all
yeah,
right,
you
this is
gotta be
what it
willing
is.
to
I speak on it. You
you
gotta be
gotta
willing to
be
take the
willing,
stand.
like, anytime you I don't care if you on the right, left, up, down, whatever. As a general rule, when you take strong positions in religion and politics,
Mm,
you have to understand that you have to be willing to die for that, because people
mm,
kill over politically and religiously charged themes. That's just what it is. I mean, again, we've seen this happen in America before. We see JFK get clipped in open public. You know what I mean? We
I mean, we
see,
just saw that with Trump. I mean, it was
yeah, we just saw
like a
somebody take it exactly. You know what I mean? So I think the hypocrisy part for me is just this concept that he had a family. We have to have the empathy, and I get all that, the humanity part, yeah. But what people don't realize is, and I think it's the elites in the context of probably needing a distraction or for other
oh,
purposes too.
100%. We'll break
The
that down.
reality is the way people are at each other's throat in this country, it can only lead to one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And this is what a lot of people are already suspecting is, on the horizon. But the point I'm making is like, yeah, man, if people feel this raw emotion about this stuff, then it's already too far gone to turn back, because people ain't even
yeah,
listening to reason. They're not even like, you got to think about it. The right is quick to say conspiracy this, conspiracy that, this, that. When it comes to race, there's no more conspiracy. You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? The group that don't have, and then when you go in the black community, right? Conspiracy this, conspiracy that. They did this, they did that. Then when they come to race, conspiracy go out the window. You
Mm,
see, nobody want to acknowledge. But one thing I give black folks though, it will see. It's all about what your group is too, because then you got so many factions in America, and
yeah,
they
man.
fighting over these ideological issues. And the ideological issues that people are really passionate about, and that's being used to manipulate and stir people's emotion to get
Yeah,
them worked up to say, I don't care about reason, logic, or none of that. I hate you, you hate me, but
yeah,
let's go after it. You know what I'm saying? And all that's going to do is just sink the economy, and life is not going to be livable. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
people going to be fighting in that war, and that's why I said the only thing that make logical sense to quell or to give a release to all this tension, you're gonna have to institute a purge. You know what I'm saying? If you unless you want full civil war. Yeah,
That cannot be the only conclusion.
they will come to. I don't think that's the only conclusion, but that will be the
But you're saying
conclusion.
like that's where it's headed based on
That's
like
where it's heading
what
based
you're
on
seeing. Like
right.
realistically, like yeah, like that's
Think about it. You have to choose. The country
purge is
has to
crazy.
choose. America has to choose purge or civil war. And it's too far gone
But why are those only two options? Like
because
what
it's
about
not a.
you can't wake up and like realize we're being used as pawns? Like there's a bigger
What I'm
group
saying is the amount of people who think like that
too.
is pales in comparison to the people who are in their feelings and raw emotions about
I see what
racial
you're saying.
issues, about these different type of issues. You see what I'm
I
saying?
see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So easy. I saw it yesterday. I saw it yesterday. I'm on Twitter. I'm on X, and I'm like, okay, Andrew Tate went full racist. You know what I'm saying?
Racist, bro. All of
Yeah, he
them,
went.
man. It's
Yeah, they
crazy.
all just popped out full racist.
Wild, bro.
You see what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
was.
And
Yeah.
then I'm saying to myself, like, why is this the case? And it's like, it's because this is how people really feel,
Mm,
right? And so if they really feel like that, you can't change that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? There's really you.
Like it's coming out. Like
Yeah, you can try to talk to them about the fact. You can lay the facts out, the statistics. Like they'll keep running the
the data.
anytime white folks in this country want to push an agenda about something, they'll start bringing up crime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like crime,
Crime, bro. No, you
right,
gotta because like they're defining the crime and then pinning it to yeah.
right. Then
That's
then when you
crazy.
look at the exoneration rate, they say that black men are 5% of the country, the population, yet commit half of the violent crimes. And then when you look at it, the other half of that stat, when you look at the most exonerations, it's identical and consistent to how many people um gets in locked up or arrested. The
Mm,
exoneration rate is identical to the conviction rate. You see, so what that shows you is that most of the people that's being convicted is being convicted wrongly. You know what I mean?
mm.
So you can't bring up those nuances because they don't want to hear them.
Yeah, that doesn't go viral either,
Right,
especially when you're just trying to feed the masses, whatever, like they're just trying to feed you to the wolves. You
right,
can't, nobody's gonna sit down and break down the logic or question the data. It's just you're giving people what they want. At
right,
that point, you're just telling them what they want to hear, and it's
right.
already been implanted in your subconscious. And so now it's just a matter of, yeah, like feeding the wolves. So yeah, in some way, yeah, you're right. I mean, the optimistic part of me is like, we can figure it. I even wrote like a thread on it, but
Hmm.
you know,
No, I mean, I hope it
history
could.
shows. Yeah, but I'm saying like history shows that you should be prepared for the worst.
Yeah, yeah.
Oftentimes, that is what comes about. Yeah, no, I definitely don't like. I like thinking about that because it allows me to prepare, be on my, be urgent, but at the same time, try to be positive and optimistic from a mental standpoint. But yeah, yeah, no, I get it. It's a balance. So what do you think happened based on what you know? What do you believe? Because I could say initially, again, it's so easy to point the finger at Israel, right? Like, but it seems too obvious for it to be that. And I think it could even be something as simple as just causing more division. Like as long as it's divisive, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like there's because it smells like shit. I mean, on so many different levels, right? So what do you think based on what you've seen? You're muted.
Charlie meant a lot to a lot of people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I don't know, man, the way my mind works, the way I see it is I think MAGA sacrificed them. I think
Mm.
I think there's rumors that, there's some people that don't believe it's real that he actually got shot or and that he's dead, but that's neither here nor there. I believe he is, but point is that I think they used him so they could have a martyr, because like the way these like type of situations operate, you know, the person that's being led to the slaughter usually don't know they're being led to the slaughter and that they're going to be a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So like MAGA has a martyr, especially depending on who it was if they find out who killed them. You know what I mean? And if you never find out who killed them, then you definitely got to look at it and say, look, like his side, the leadership of that side probably took him out. There's so many scenarios, but it could have been taken out
But
to
that's when you feel
have a
most
martyr.
inclined. That's interesting.
Well,
I didn't even
that
think about
that
that.
that that and the small hat joint. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
he was having some riff with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They was calling him anti-Semitic or whatever. And you know how they do, man. They'll take you out. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't really in alignment with what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? So it could
Mm.
be that. You know what I mean? It definitely could be that. But I definitely think that whatever the purpose was, one of the main things was that it was meant to polarize and galvanize the emotions of people who will be willing to, act out of anger. You know what I'm saying? Because when people are emotionally charged, they can be manipulated easy. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the same thing with George Floyd, right? Like it was like when I said, oh, okay, they're gonna use this. And I was just saying, I was like, yo, black folks, this ain't the guy
Yeah, it's not the guy
to
you
crash.
wanna.
This not the guy to crash out for. We want to hold a crash out back. We can crash out, but this not the guy to crash out about. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but the money, the engine was behind it already. You know what I'm saying? From
Mm.
Soros and all that, that the money was already behind pumping it up. So I saw what they did with BLM is the same thing that's happening with MAGA. It's the same thing, just the different side of the coin. You see what I'm
But
saying?
with George Floyd, it was already like it kinda happened, and now we can get behind it, right? There was no, like, coordinated attempt, at least in my understanding, to take him out. Like, there was no, like, "This is the guy, we take him out." It was like, "It happened. How do we milk this into what we already want with Black Lives Matter?" Whereas with this, it seemed like a preemptive or like a planned
Yeah,
attempt, right? It seemed like coordinated from God knows how long in advance, right? Like, it just seemed. And MAGA is interesting. MAGA and I mean, yeah, those are two that goes hand in hand. I mean, if you do that with both, I didn't think about that, but
yeah.
that
I
is
mean,
an
it
interesting perspective.
might be two different reasons to like two different approaches that was taken, but both of these incidents
Would
were
have to
used to
approve.
yeah, and it was both galvanized the
Yeah, yeah.
emotions of the people. It
So what
polarized.
then? What then with this movement? What are you seeing?
I ultimately, I've been saying it for years. People used to be like, "Yo, you keep." I'm like, listen,
Going back to the purge?
yeah,
You think we're that close?
the trajectory. Like, if you ever sit back, if you ever go back and watch The Purge and listen to the movie and hear how they said it was instituted, you'd be like, "Yo, we living in them times right now." Like, you got to say to yourself, do you go civil war, or do you just give the citizens a day or a night to get all their hate out? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one would leave the country in a state where it can still function?
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about from you and our perspective. I'm talking about put yourself as an elite who's in the
Yeah.
business of controlling the world and controlling people and doing these types of things. And it's like, okay, do we want to collapse America completely and have to rebuild like a third world country coming back from like an emerging market? Or do we allow because my point is too much hate. Like
Hmm.
everybody hate each other here in
Damn,
America.
man.
You can't get over all this hate. Where's that all that energy gonna go?
Yeah, like how do you process
Right.
with people that have no idea? Yeah.
And everybody
Uh,
knows they're being manipulated. Listen, black folks knew they like the people who supported BLM, they knew they was being manipulated. The people who support the mag they know they being manipulated. It's just they feel what they feel. Everybody
Yeah,
feels what they feel, and they wanna act on what they feel, man. You know what I'm saying?
this is how you get the gladiators.
Right. So, yeah, I just think, man, it's I think it's layered in that kinda way, bro, where it's like, uh, the elites are using both sides' emotions to just stay at each other's throat. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
then
that's
what would you advise people that are watching this, right? Because that shit is dark as shit.
it is.
How do we navigate around
Yo,
this?
man, I think number 1, you got to
Because
be
it seems like it's imploding. Like the U.S. is imploding. Because I was gonna talk about the financial aspect. Like the economy is also imploding. Like all of it
everything.
is imploding.
Listen, man.
Everything is like reaching new heights that we've
Bruh,
never seen this before.
right.
And that's the thing. Like people have to understand we've never been in a situation like this before. And so
And
when you're
not
talking
our
about the
generation.
purge, it's like that's never happened. But like none of this has ever happened.
None of it.
Everything is new. The ideas and all like it's unimaginable. That's the point. That's the
Mhm.
point of what like nobody imagined dude getting assassinated. You know what I mean? Like this is all new for better or worse. But
So
yeah,
you
so
you
what
you
would
hear how
you
you hear how Nick Fuentes when he's talking, right? How he talks about how he's nervous around like black people, and he's scared. Like, now listen, I grew up in the '80s and the drug war in East Brooklyn, East New York. I mean, like I said, if you ask me, I had a fun childhood. But if I explain that childhood, you'd be like, "Oh hell no! What the hell?" It was like a
yeah,
war zone. So
yeah,
I'm used to danger. I'm used to being around dangerous blacks who will
yeah,
rob you and kill you. I've been around it. I'm not saying all black,
yeah,
but I've been around a lot of danger. Yesterday, I've had issues with police and being arrested and all. I've been locked up before and had to do a couple nights in county and stuff like that. I'm just saying I've been around danger.
yeah,
Yesterday, in all my years of living, was the first time I felt danger. I felt it. Like, it's something in the air that has changed where you can feel
yeah,
that something is brewing and it ain't good, you know? And that's
mm,
because there's like it's all reason and logic is out the window. People forgot this emotion and the system is just gonna work that emotion until they all just go at each other while they're
you need
doing
on.
something else in the background. They're doing something else
Yeah,
in the background,
yeah.
because if you look at
Well, they're just setting the foundation for what happens after. That's what they're doing. They're like, okay, we
yeah,
allow this, and then how we gonna clean up the mess, and then make, what I mean, like once it's done, what are we anticipating? What's gonna result, and then how do we, you know,
yeah,
clean it up and continue business as usual.
right. No, 100%. You know what I'm saying? 1,000%. I think that yeah, I just think that that's where it's going, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's interesting. I felt very similar. I'm not gonna lie. I was with my kids yesterday, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just watching people closer than I normally would.
You got
You know
to.
what I mean? I got
You
it. I
got
got it tied to my hip, and
yeah.
the safety is not on. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
yeah,
there's
don't even got
definitely,
a safety on.
yeah. No, no, I'm dead ass. Like
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
I'll put
yeah.
it down and like play with the
Yeah,
kids, but now I'm like, nah, I'm jumping on the slide with this shit on me. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so I definitely feel
yeah,
that. I
yeah, brother.
definitely feel that, man. And the tension is high.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm. Yeah, man. Tension's high,
Luckily,
so
we're in Texas because everything, at least people would know that, in Texas, there's an
yeah,
awareness of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
everybody got it, or at
yeah,
least that's the assumption. Whereas in these other places, New
yeah,
York,
yeah,
Cali, I
yeah,
don't,
yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how.
When you're in a place where you can have that thing on you all times, you know what I'm saying?
I'll show you my bed, bro. Got the shotty right next. I sleep with that shit and a samurai sword. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I got one
if
the
I
same.
go out, if I go out, like there's gonna be holes in the room. You're gonna see there was a struggle. But yeah, no, you're right. Like most people are not like we're not most people. So I think yeah,
Yeah,
that perspective of like navigating, yeah, it's interesting because I'm
yeah.
almost seeing it like how do I get out of it? How soon do you believe this will transpire?
Man, I don't know. That's
Yeah,
why I've been advocating that myself and family and other people just find alternatives. Cause it's like, here's the thing, like, you can't run from conflict, like, in the world. Like, the world is if you look at the
Yeah,
world,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, you got
Everywhere, yeah.
Nepal, France,
Yeah, it's
Japan.
burning down.
Yeah, their countries is like the governments got overthrown, so it's a lot of turmoil everywhere, right? Our
That's
generation.
wait, that's also an option, no? Like people just burning, especially if you've seen it in other countries. I feel like that could also be an option. Just because I need some fucking positivity, bro. I don't want
Yeah.
just the only
Yeah, yeah.
option niggas coming at each other. I think there is a open opportunity of like people, and I'm not inside this or anything, but we're seeing it around the world. And usually, what happens in Europe trickles down to the U.S. Right? Usually, there's a pattern, and so I can also see people just and maybe that's why we're setting up these Palantir city surveillance because they have information of like, yo, people are going to come and riot in
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
government institution. Because like that makes more sense to me.
Mhm,
Like people taking it out on government institution as opposed, especially if every time a nigga that gets assassinated or attempted, the government can never figure it out. The big bad U.S. government, we can never figure it out.
mhm,
How does that make any sense? How how do all these people continue to get away? It just doesn't register. Like we're supposed to be
mhm,
the most powerful. Like
mhm,
China niggas would have caught him. Like I said, in like
mhm,
10 minutes,
mhm, mhm.
it would have been
Yeah,
done deal. Like this is the part
yeah,
we saw. We got the plane.
right.
How is that we're not able to catch people that are killing like the most influential individuals in our country, the most like impactful, right? Like these are not just regular human. These are like the, President Trump, Charlie Kirk. Like, how are we? That part is what baffles me. And so when you said MAGA, that's kind of what like I was like, oh, like that is an answer. Like
Yeah.
that would make sense because like I don't see how you cannot find these individuals or have any type of information. That just doesn't make any
And then
sense.
again, so let me say that too, like, that's just anytime stuff like
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
happens,
I for
I'm
sure.
always thinking of several scenarios, and I never settle on a scenario. I'll just be like, could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 of
It's
one
just
of these type
open.
of things.
So
It's just
whenever,
open, you know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it may not be that, but I'm just
hundred
saying
percent.
it sometimes there are situations where a group uses a person that's very polarizing and like a big voice for their movement. It just makes sense. If you sacrifice them, you're gonna amplify the energy to drive people into frenzy. That's just what happens, and that's what's happening. So I'm just saying that
Yeah.
as an option, not that that is the case, right?
Mission. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, that's an observation. That's I mean that but that's a very sharp observation I didn't even consider because then you may demonize the left and this could be your final push to just completely wipe them out. Like even on a
yeah,
political level, right?
right,
Like
hundred
you
percent,
if you get the people to be convinced, the people with the weapons, man,
right,
you know what I mean, the
yeah,
Republicans,
yeah, yeah.
this is the Abraham, this is all over again, right? Like that could be the red versus the blue.
Right, 100%. And
And then that
there's been times where stuff has happened to the left, and I'm like, "Yo, they probably just created this to blame the people on the right,
the
and they're just using
manufacturer.
this." Yeah, just because
Yeah,
we have so many instances of false flags and stuff that happened in history
yeah,
to cause people or incite people to violence, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm
What was that
saying that
good movie that came out we was watching on Netflix where that was like literally the plot with Robert De Niro?
on 0 day, 0
That was
day.
literally the
Yeah,
plot.
literally
Like at
the
the
plot.
end,
Yeah,
spoiler
see?
alert, nigga was like, yeah, it actually was in house.
See?
Yeah,
That's my point. But
yeah,
this is
yeah.
why they put those movies out for people who got discerning eyes to see and be like, okay, this is what could potentially be the case. But a lot of times people are not looking at it like that because they got their emotions in it. You know what I'm saying?
Reacting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
you're not
very
seeing the
reactionary.
chess play because that is a
No,
brilliant chess play. If
it
you're
is.
like,
It
if
is.
you're the long game, if you're doing the long, you know what I mean? If you're playing the long game, that is
That's internal.
brilliant.
If it's a foreign influence,
Mhm.
then it's like, yo, we sending a message to you
Yeah,
that listen,
yeah, yeah,
if you get on our bad side, you're out of here. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? So it could be that too. We don't know, but but you had
yeah,
asked me specifically. You said, "How is it that?" Here's what I want to say. When you said as an option, well, most people don't realize it, but the U.S. Constitution, in the very U.S. Constitution that everybody talks about, it says the citizens have the actual right to overthrow the government if they become tyrannical and create a new one.
yeah.
The power has always been in the people's hands. It's just that the people are easily manipulated. You see what
and
I'm saying?
ignorant of like
Yeah.
these rights. Yeah,
Because now if the people wanted to exercise that right, they would say those people are criminals or
yeah,
terrorists.
terrorists,
You see what I'm
radicals.
saying? Right.
Yeah,
But it's literally in the Constitution. That's part of the reason the Second Amendment is there. Is the Second Amendment is there for two reasons. If there was a slave rebellion, every white person would have be armed in order to handle the slave rebellion. And the other option was if the government became tyrannical and overstepped their bounds, then the people would have means to, check the government. Because you got to remember, it was set up by people who themselves were considered terrorists by England. You see what I'm saying? Because they
mm,
rebelled against the crown.
yeah,
Instead, there was a legal argument between American lawyers and British lawyers, and the British still look at the Americans as terrorist traitors that they just entered an agreement into because they rebelled against the crown. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They were subjects. So, when we consider that as like the people coming together to overthrow things, or I'm not that I'm advocating that people do that.
inciting. We're not. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's inciting
Yeah, I'm not
violence
saying,
or
but
else
but I'm just
retarded.
pointing out that
That is an option.
it's
Yeah,
in the US Constitution. It's in it. I didn't put it there. I didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? But
you
it's in
just
there. You know what I'm saying? And also the people we talked yesterday about Bacon's Rebellion. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
was the only time in American history where the 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 people of the lower class, regardless of race and background or ethnicity, they teamed up to overthrow corruption. And we never seen anything like that since.
yeah,
Because they played the race game to divide everybody. You know what I'm saying? Which
yeah,
is not a game black people play. You know what I'm saying? But it's a game that has been created to keep the people of the lower classes at each other's throat.
yeah,
You see?
yeah. Unless I mean, there's divisions on all levels: race,
Hmm.
political parties, gender,
Hmm.
cultures. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
melting pot experiment that has gone fucking Frankenstein. I mean,
Right.
it's like
Right.
worse. At least it feels that way. The perception and what it is online. It's like you said, bro. It's full of hate. I think
Yeah.
that just kind of captures it in a bottle. Like it really is
Bro,
a
when you got
world full
billionaires,
of hate, bro.
this is what we was talking about yesterday about the billionaires and stuff like that. Like, Elon Musk is sitting there tweeting out, making posts about just racially charged stuff, right? So it's like, yo, you're a billionaire. You're
Yeah,
in the driver's seat of the world. Let's gauge these people by a standard. Let's gauge the leaders of the world by the standard of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings
yeah.
be
Peace
upon
be
him, right?
upon him. Yeah,
Because we're talking about great men. Elon Musk, undoubtedly a great man. He's a great man in history. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
But all of these elites bring their personal biases
Yeah,
into critiques about or discussions about humanity. You can't have personal bias on certain biological differences when you're in those positions of leadership. Because, and the reason I said let's pair that against the Prophet Muhammad, peace and be upon him, what did he say? This guy made the list as the greatest man to ever live by a
yeah. Most
non-Muslim,
influential.
right?
Yeah,
Most influential, greatest. He said, "You're not good, or one isn't superior based on race. One is superior
yeah.
based on their piety or their level of righteousness." Right?
The
That's
character.
what's character. That's what somebody who wants to see the world grow or heal or
Yeah,
move forward would say. Somebody with this is why I keep saying people with billions of dollars, they just got billions of dollars. You
yeah.
know,
Exactly.
you're bringing your position is that in that position of power, you're bringing your personal whatevers to,
Trauma.
yeah,
Trauma, bro. And they grew up in South Africa. I mean, all of them. Sachs,
right,
Peter, like whatever happened in South Africa, their taste for black people, they do not like
right.
the black
It's
people. Yeah,
like
there's definitely a trauma there.
it has to be, right? So the whole point I'm making
Apartheid.
is he's feeding into it. And then you got others feeding into it. And it's like, okay, when you got the richest dude in the country feeding into this is something.
Yeah,
This is something. This is
yeah,
something intentional that's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not afraid. like you're gonna lose people
I don't know
buying
if it's
Teslas?
intentional. I don't know if he's, like, intentionally trying to egg it on. I feel like these individuals perhaps already held this hatred towards a certain race, and now that the world is like they feel more comfortable expressing it. Like, "Oh, I you
Agree,
see, like,
agree,
I told"
agree.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not I don't think they're,
agree.
like, thinking like, "Oh, Imma put this out, and then, I hope this shit turns into a civil war," because it doesn't really help them in a sense, right? But I think they're
But they
also
all got
human.
bunkers. They all got
Yeah,
bunkers.
no, no, for sure, but they're all human, I'm saying, and when you have an opportunity like this to speak how you feel indirectly too, you're just putting out the statistics that happen to, be biased, but I think that's a little bit of that, right? I think it's a little bit but like you said, when you're in a position of power, you gotta be more self-aware. You gotta be more mindful of, like, the
But they don't
impact of
care.
what you're doing. I don't know if they don't care. I think they just really believe that. I think they really believe it based on their experiences. They just haven't healed, bro. I don't think they've healed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
but
think
see,
they're valid and they had their experiences, and I'm sure it was awful, but, like, to project that on an entire race or try to fuel, a certain narrative, they're opportunists. That's what makes them great entrepreneurs, right? Like,
right.
there's a way of thinking that they have that's made them who they are, and there is a flaw to that I just don't know if they're aware of, man. I really think
But that's
they
my
feel
point
like
though.
they're
Like at what point do we say being an opportunist and like it's not good to be opportunist in all situations.
I
And
agree.
this is what makes them unqualified when
Yeah,
they get up at these big panels and I got gazillion dollars and I think that this is what makes them unqualified on a human level to lead anybody anywhere because they lack the basic discernment skills to say let's look at this objectively. Their objectivity has a bias in it that makes them look at people. White people got this thing in America where they believe their lives matter more than everybody else's. This is
mhm,
the problem with them. Like you can't explain facts to them and have them be empathetic to other people's plights. Now, I'm not going to say all white folks because you got quite a few that do, right? But the point is that they believe intrinsically based on their indoctrination. Because here's the kicker: we all got indoctrinated by the same system,
yeah,
right? So their perspective was given to them. And
yeah,
so they believe that their lives matter more than everybody else's, which is
yeah,
why they could say black crime is the biggest issue. And then look at when white crime happens. Oh, that's just a one off. Like there people go and shoot up schools all the time. Oh, he had a mental problem. You
yeah,
know, I mean, when Dylan Roof, Storm Roof, he went to a black church, shot the whole church up. He was on the run. When they caught him, the sheriffs brought him Burger King. They brought him a Burger King burger. You know what I'm saying? And you know what happened? The black people after that immediately said, "We forgive you," because they were churchful. They said, "We forgive you. We forgive you." So the point I'm making is, and it's not like I'm not even trying to make it like a black people are good, white people are bad. I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just trying to point to the fact that if
the
you can't,
hypocrisy.
the hypocrisy, that's
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, that's
the
really what it is.
hypocrisy, and it's like, yo, if black and white don't like each other, it is what it is, right? So where does that lead to?
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
why I keep saying, if fundamentally you have to want to solve the human issues to move
Yeah,
forward. Because
yeah,
this is a melting pot, you can't say, yo, we white, and so America cultural values is what we say it is. Nah,
yeah,
because America wasn't even founded like that. The real
yeah,
lowdown is Europe unloaded all its criminals to and then the people who were successful here got tired of paying taxes and unfair treatment from the crown. They went to the the American Indians, and got the Constitution because that comes from the Iroquois Confederacy. They went to some of the Africans that were free here. That was just like because not everybody here was a slave. Like you had Muslims coming here. In fact, I think I said it to you yesterday. The first justice of the Supreme Court argued that Muslims should be able to serve as presidents. Thomas Jefferson owned the Quran. Thomas Jefferson believed the same thing, that
mm,
freedom of religion had to include pagan or Muslim in the acceptance of freedom of religion. So the concept that this is an exclusively white country, white Christian country. Nah, they subverted. It was a lot of black Europeans from Europe, not even from Africa. Most from literally people from Europe who were black, who were a part of founding this country. Like it was a joint effort. It's just one faction got in there and cut everybody else out. It's just like if you founded a startup, like think of America as the greatest startup in history. And then you'll understand what actually happened.
No, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's what's happening right now. That you have a melting pot of a lot of cultures, a lot of beliefs, and only one of those are going to take supreme. Only one of those is going to win it out at the end of the day. You can't have, and I think Tucker touched on this as well. He had an argument with Mark Cuban. I don't know if you got to that, but they were trying to argue of how you can have different cultures in one country or one area. And his argument was like, no, you can only have one predominant culture, one set of values that leads the country forward. And having all these different cultures coming in, it's changing the values and perspectives and beliefs of everyone, right? But at the end of it, there has to be one. There's the law, right? Like it's all fashioned around a set of beliefs for the entire country. And so I think what we're seeing now is that I think all parties understand that we're moving towards a new world, a reset, a global reset. I mean, we're seeing, like you said, in Nepal, we're seeing it in France, we're seeing it like it's all happening. You're seeing BRICS tie together. You're seeing it for the first time, Kim Jong Un leave his nest. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing that's when you're
Bro,
seeing
we're
things happen for
seeing
the first time. It's like the urgency that people are realizing. These are leaders that have never done any of these things coming together. You've seen the tariffs, like
Mars,
every
bro.
day, bro. Every day is something
Mars.
great. Oh yeah, we got Mars.
Mars, bro. This is how you
It,
know whatever's
feel like we
happening.
found the aliens, bro. Everybody just, you know what I mean? Like we found them, nigga. Like that's
Yeah,
always been the scapegoat. Like, bro, we found, nigga. Shut your ass up. Y'all been knowing this shit. Like that
yo,
pissed me off. That pissed me
yo.
off, bro. Like
That's how
that's
you
like
know something's going on so major
so
that they
major.
go NASA comes
Yeah,
out. We
NASA
found
came out
life on Mars, bro. Official
literally
press release.
same day.
That lets you know how crazy it is right now. Where NASA, you know what I mean?
Low key, that's probably the only way you can get the world to like huddle up. You have to let
Actually,
the aliens go, bro. Whatever gens and whatever's out there, I feel like that's really the only thing that people will be able to like forget.
nah, but
If
you
you
know,
just
the funny thing is you saying that years ago. I think this was during Obama's first term, I believe. Maybe second.
okay,
But Fox News, I forgot who it was, man. I gotta try to find this clip. No, 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 no. It was a Fox News. They was interviewing this one guy. He's some kind of political pundit, and he said, you know, the only way to bring the world together is we need an alien invasion. You know,
yeah,
the humans, we're not going to stop being at each other's throat. You know, unless there's a bigger threat. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So he was literally saying that you need an alien invasion in order to stop World War III from happening.
yeah. I remember that. I remember
You know what
that.
I'm saying?
I thought
So
that was made at the like a congressional hearing. No?
it might have been said there, but I'm just saying the one I saw, he was just like talking as a political pundit to a correspondent
Mm,
on Fox News, like about that. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, no. I've heard similar, and Alex
Yeah,
Jones talked about it too. I mean, we got a taste of it during COVID, right? With Miami, they were like, "Yeah, the
yeah,
alien
yeah,
invasion at the
yeah,
mall."
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
That was
crazy.
like that was that was interesting. But
Now
yeah, I
NASA,
agree.
now NASA, there was floating around for quite a while, but NASA, there's this scientist who used to work for NASA, right? And I seen this video years ago, right? Years ago, but you know, stuff people just be discovering things on the internet and they go viral again. But he was talking about the NASA has some photos of aliens, and they was like, yo, they some 7 foot black people, literally. You can Google, yeah, go YouTube it. It's there.
He's like, yeah,
I'm kidding you.
we talked to him. He told me his name was
Yo,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
yo, he said it's like 9 foot tall, 7 foot. Like I think he said 9 foot though, something
It
like
had to
that
be
tall.
9 foot. 7 foot is crazy,
Yeah,
bro. That's
no,
literally any nigga in the NBA. Like it's
yeah,
gotta be 9 foot.
yeah,
Nine
you know
foot
what I'm
makes
saying?
sense. He said he's
Those
black.
he said they black. He said they black aliens. I kid you, yo, YouTube it.
Alright.
NASA scientists say, NASA, just put NASA scientists, black aliens. You'll see a bunch of videos of the interview of him pull up talking about it. Now, whether that's true or false, I
Yeah,
don't know.
Clark C.
Yeah,
McClelland saw a 9 foot tall black skin alien on a space.
yeah. He's a NASA scientist, retired.
No, this is just wild, but, like, yeah, no, this is 2015.
Yeah, you know
He
what I'm
witnessed a
saying?
9 foot tall extraterrestrial while working on a 1991 space shuttle.
It's just funny outside, man.
Oh my god, but you're right, bro. Like this is no, you but you're spot on. I'm laughing, but I'm like, yo, this is actually the move. Like it would have to be you would have to throw everything at the wall.
Yeah,
Whether
man.
it's the move or not, you would have to try. You would
Hmm.
have to try because this is like end game. This is
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this is it.
See,
I
another thing I want to point out to you, there's a lot of people that talk about how right at the verge, there's been so many times, like there's a theory that the world has been destroyed many times before. You know,
not
has
theory,
like
nigga. We know that. We know that
no, no,
for
no.
like from prophecy.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like in the secular world, right? In the
Like
secular world,
scientifically we've
yeah,
seen the
scientifically, yeah.
destruction. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There's this gap of like civilization where it was destroyed,
Correct.
and then
Yeah.
like we start from back from hunter gatherer stage. And the thing about that is there's people in that space that say every time humanity gets to a point where it's like they can either ascend or go back into the Stone Age, they go back to the Stone Age. We can't. There's a we the
Like a ceiling, like a
yeah.
threshold.
It's the hate ceiling. It's the xenophobic ceiling. It's the inability to solve our problems. Now, the Ituri people of and this is real significant to what we're talking about, but the Ituri people in the
Iteria is what,
Congo,
forest people?
yeah, in the Congo, they have a story identical to the Adam and Eve story, but it wasn't influenced by Islamic or Christianity, and it's identical
Probably
to that.
predated it.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's identical. That's the crazy thing, right? It's identical, like in many ways, like the whole tree going to Ephraim being like the whole thing, right?
Mm,
So that's just interesting for when we talk about the whole relationship topic at another date. But the point I'm bringing up in this instance is those people said that they used to have advanced technology way, way back, but they got rid of it because it caused too many problems.
mm,
So notice our discussion is always about how to use this technology. How do we move forward? Now, if you look into ancient archaeology, what you'll start to see is like you'll see ancient carvings of people holding laptops, cell phones. You see some weird stuff like, yo, what the heck? Like,
yeah, you see flying cars or
right,
UFOs, whatever. Yeah,
100%, right?
yeah,
So the whole thing is the technology is not necessarily new, and we've already had instances of extreme technological ingenuity. Even when we look at
yeah,
some of these ancient temples and stuff that exist around the world, we still don't know how they were made, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Pyramids.
if we always get to a space where we can ascend to the next level of humanity, but we end up with these hunter gatherer stone age communities that we got to build up back from because everything got wiped out because of some type of war. Like when you look at the Hindus, right, their story, it talks about like war breaking out, and they got these things called Viyamanas, and they talk about how it was like nuclear war. They even tested certain places in India. You could still detect the radiation like it was a nuclear battle there, like a nuclear war type joint. But the point is that they say in their custom that everything began like that, and then now they dealing with the get back of trying to bring everything back. But there was some previous civilization that existed that ended because it was a massive war. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So like we're right now talking about trying to get to type 1 civilization, the Kardashev scale and all this and all that. And we still got, now how are we going to ever be a type 1? Like, okay, type 1 is energy, planet that can harness all of its energy. How the hell we gonna get there if we still ain't solve racism and all the other isms?
Anything.
Right,
Like when it comes to humans.
right. So we got some of the humans saying we just gonna break away from the rest of humanity and start a colony here to do what? The same
Mm,
thing?
yeah,
There's the human problem which religion sought to solve. This is why I tell
yeah,
people all the time, whether you say religion, some people are like, I don't believe in that. Whether you want to believe religion is real or fake, it's still the best system given to
yeah,
humans to try to autocorrect or self-correct some of the defects that we have in us so that we are able to exist in spaces of higher dimensions. You got to think about the whole story of it. We get kicked out
yeah,
of paradise. You got to go here and learn how to behave so you can earn a spot back into paradise. If you had a place that was perfect, you wouldn't want people there who gonna tear the shit up.
yeah, yeah,
You let them
crazy.
in paradise, they're gonna bring hate, they're gonna bring jealousy, they're gonna
Yeah,
bring all this other stuff. It won't be paradise no more.
yeah,
So so the whole point is human ascension is critical for us to get to the next level, but we keep fumbling because of our human condition of being biased, having xenophobia, having this type hating this
hatred,
type of
bro.
group. When the creator said, I made these differences between you so you may get to know each other. Because imagine
Yeah.
if we all was the same. Imagine if everybody was on planet
Nigga,
Earth
we
made
would be in type 7 by
exactly.
now. We
Exactly.
would already be fighting God knows what out there,
Right.
like, or making
Exactly.
peace with them. You know what I mean? Maybe we
Exactly.
just yeah, you're right. And that seems like that was the intent. It was like, "This is what I made y'all so y'all can come back home," but
Right.
in a different but it's like the opposite.
It's
Like,
the
y'all can't
opposite.
even get out of Earth. Y'all
Can't even get
can't
out of Earth.
even you can't even make it.
Can't
So
even
I
make it out of
understand
Earth.
the frustrations of like the elite because they're like thinking, man, like if it was all, if only, but they're not recognizing that you're part of the problem. And you could
That's my
easily be
point.
part of the solution.
That's my
We
point.
could easily be resolving all of this. All
Right.
of it. Like it's
Elon is
easily, bro.
supposed to be saying stuff like, come on, humanity, let's heal
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Buy more Teslas. We heal each other by you buy a Tesla, we all kumbaya. He's supposed to
yeah,
be that type of figure.
yeah.
They supposed to be those type, but they're not those type of figures.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah, leadership is poor.
The leader exactly.
Even with like the assassination, like for me it's if they find out who did it, that nigga should be beheaded on live. Like there should be an example set. You know what I mean? There should be an example set of like we don't tolerate this. Anything that divides us, anything that disrupts what our rights are, our constitutional rights, anything that kind of goes between that. But there's never that, bro. It's always like we want to be hard when it comes to foreign relations, but
Hmm. Hmm.
there's no
Hmm.
regulation here. There's no setting a standard. There's just no respect. I don't know.
Right.
It's just, and I feel like people are catching on, and it's almost like they're gonna. I feel like, yeah, you're right. They might start trying the government because it's like, yo, y'all claim to be all of this, and nothing ever happened. Nothing, even overseas. See with the
Yeah.
bombing of Qatar, it's like
Yeah.
all it is like, yo, don't do that shit again. Like,
Right.
nigga,
Right.
what
Right. Right.
or what,
Right.
nigga? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would think. Like, if I had an elderly, I kept telling, and I kept doing things, and you're not doing anything, and then I see someone else doing, you're not. At some point, I'm gonna test you. I'm like, this nigga's a bitch. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's something not
Hmm.
right. And
Hmm.
I think people who have been so intimidated and so fearful for so long are starting to realize, like, what am I afraid of? Right? Like,
Hmm.
there's no, and like you said, with religion, at least there's self regulation. There's just, it's beautiful, man. Like,
Yeah,
it
but you
really
see,
is.
Elon
And
said
now
it
more than
though.
ever, you're seeing it. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Let me
you
read what he said.
realize its purpose. You realize how important it is for there to be a religion, to be some type
Hmm.
of way of people can regulate themselves. And without it,
Hmm.
you don't go anywhere, man. You really don't.
Yeah,
And
what he
we're
said is
seeing it in real time.
he said if you take away religion, and this is the part of the interesting
This was
thing
on the
about it.
All In?
Yeah, this is on the all in. So I also I had to laugh at it because it's like it said, if you take away religion, who taking it away? You?
Yeah.
And who's that powerful to say if we take this away? Like, oh, that was a little bit weird to me, but I'll keep reading. If you take
Yeah.
away religion, I think you get something in its place which is worse than what was there before. You get something destructive like the woke mind virus taking the place of religion. And we know that's whatever. You get dystopian de facto religions that are self-destructive. We need some sort of revival of religion or coherent philosophy that people can get excited about. So,
Yeah, that's the problem though. Like they see the solution, but only recognize it as a tool of control. They don't understand it for what it actually is. And it just
right,
becomes another cycle of doom, bro. Like
exactly, exactly.
they just not, they don't understand,
They
man.
making it about them. They don't realize that they've been placed in positions that they are to be facilitators of humanity, not their
Yeah,
controllers, not the masters of humanity, facilitators. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? But they're not, because they haven't healed, they don't see it like that. They see themselves as the power and the control
Mhm.
mechanism of humanity. So
Yeah,
the whole thing is though, is that there is an acknowledgement that you need to have the people have a belief system.
yeah.
Like, you can like I was just talking to one of my homies yesterday, and he's just one of those people who just don't like religion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He got like bad experiences
Yeah,
with
gotta
with
be.
religious hypocrites and stuff like
Community.
that. Right. And I'm trying to tell him it's not the religion that's the problem. I don't care what religion it is. It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
religion it's the human condition. The
yeah.
religion ain't corruptible. Humans are corruptible. It doesn't matter
Right.
what ism we create. There's going to be
Yeah.
some type of corruption that we add to whatever it is we create. So the religion or the systems was developed. Even if we want to say, it ain't, people got their questions about God. You can prove the reality of something without even needing to bring God into it, because God is so dope that he set the mathematical scientific foundations for everything to operate. So the evidence for him is in the blueprint of existence itself.
100%.
This is why people like Elon Musk now gotta admit we need religion.
Yeah.
This is why all the top scientists now gotta. You saw Sam Altman discussion about God. He didn't even really want
With
to say it was
Tucker?
God. Yeah, with Tucker.
I didn't get it.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
finish it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay.
he got a part in there where they talk about, he asked him, do he believe in God? And
Yeah.
he just answered it in a very
He did a Peter Thiel, weave.
yeah, he
He
did,
did
but
like
he didn't. He did, but
a
he was
dance.
just like, there's something going
Yeah.
on beyond our control that's out there. You know what I'm saying? He said he was like, I don't think I have the answer for that. But it's like he wasn't asking you what you had the answer for. He was asking what
Yeah.
you believe. You
No,
don't
but
have
that's
to.
the thing, right? They're just like compute, 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 compute.
Right.
Like they can't, they're not, that's how their brains operate.
Hmm.
Like they think they're smarter than they really are,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
it's an ignorance that like I don't know how to pin it. Like I get it. They're trying to but it doesn't make sense because even if you try to rationalize it, it's so obvious. No matter which way you cut it. So I don't know if it's just arrogance. I don't know if it's like I don't know what yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it because
Yeah.
even when Elon was describing the hand, right? There was like he's like, I'm having issues with like the hand and that's like the optimist, that's the part where it's just really he's like it's so fascinating how every piece of the finger, the pinky, all of it is I was like, this nigga, like, bro, you're more fascinated of God than
Yeah.
you realize. Like, if you
Exactly.
just tied it to a
Exactly.
creator, you would
Right.
realize, like, yeah, you can't just make a hand, nigga. You can't just make it's not a human is like, duh. Like, what do you think
Yo,
this was? You can
hold
just
on. I
read.
just caught on to what you're saying. I just caught on. He's fascinated by how the hand it operates, and it's like that's what I always say. I say God is
Incredible.
the best artist and the best scientist. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna make anything more.
And he's
You
trying
can't
to. He doesn't
make
even realize it. He's trying to play God. He doesn't even
see,
realize it.
exactly.
And I just read a verse recently. It's like if you gathered all of humanity and put them together, put their brains together, you couldn't even create a fly if you wanted to. And I know when niggas read that on his level, they're like, that hurts. You know what I mean? Because they pride themselves off innovation and creating and like,
Yeah,
so you couldn't even create a fly if you wanted to, bro. You couldn't. And that's a guy like he's like, listen very closely. It's in the Quran. He's like, listen very closely, bro. I forget the verse. I gotta quote this verse, bro. But he was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
listen
That's
closely.
dope. Yeah,
You can gather all of you, mastermind, Napoleon Hill style. You couldn't create a fly if you wanted to. Like that to
Wow.
me, I was
Wow.
like, bro, if y'all could just really, and I think that's what it is. Like if y'all could, it starts there, man. If they could, I don't know. It's like you said, it's leadership, and if these guys are hesitant to just even acknowledge God,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
just say higher power, say something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You ain't
Exactly.
got to say Allah, like nobody, but just
Right.
like you can't even utter.
Acknowledge.
Yeah, bro. That to me that's the red flag. That to
Yeah.
me, like more than anything, is like we're doomed. That to me is like the biggest sign, the biggest red flag in any relationship. If I'm talking to a girl or the lead. Like if you can't acknowledge God, there is something inherently wrong with you.
That's a fact. And now imagine trying to rationalize with them and connect with them on principles of certain things.
Mm,
You couldn't because, they don't even
yeah,
hold positions that are intuitive to humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
they don't even do that.
But it makes sense 'cause even with the Bible, right? Even when like was it King who was the one that changed up the Bible? It
It,
makes
they've
sense.
had a version
Yeah,
with
so it
different
makes sense
versions.
that
Yeah.
even in those situations, I could see them like, okay, like there is some power to this. Let's just change it up, and because that's really what Elon's saying. He's like, yeah, like religion is powerful, but we can make some changes, right? Like we can make it so that that's literally the rhetoric
Something that we
for
can get
me.
everybody excited about.
Let's throw some AI in there, like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
exactly
whatever.
what
Let's
he's
throw
gonna
some
do. He said he was gonna.
100, no, no, 100%. That's why
You saw what
I
we
could
said about
see that
Memphis?
repeating itself. Yeah,
He said
what
something.
he
Remember
said?
we saw about Memphis when he was talking about Memphis, Tennessee, because he has a company out there that he got one of his AI companies out there. And he was saying something about this God came up and he was just like, yeah, like the next God is coming out of Memphis or something like that. So pretty much I'm paraphrasing, but you can look it up.
Yeah, no,
It's there.
okay, okay,
You
okay.
can look it up, right? Elon Musk comments on Memphis or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But point is that he's like their thing is to make an AI god and an AI religion. That's going to be their thing because that's something that's exciting. Get people involved. People already turned into AI for all of these different, you know what I mean, coping
It makes
mechanisms and
sense.
stuff.
Yeah,
I'm saying even you say, yo, you had to check yourself when you was so they're going to
100%.
exploit.
That
Shit,
makes
I be
sense.
checking myself. One day I caught myself asking the John, I was like, this nigga, this stuff you should be asking God.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
100%,
Cut
bro.
it out. Don't you
Nah,
better not press that shit button. Go pray and
nah,
ask God about that, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
100%, bro.
So they're going to
Like, it's the
exploit that.
immediate answers. I'm like, yeah, that's kinda cool. No, yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Like, that would be so I mean, that makes the most sense because like, even now, everything is, like, based off data, right? Everything's data driven, all this nobody questions it. Nobody questions data, the where it comes from, who are you interviewing? Who are these polls? Like it's all manipulated, it's all biased and jaded. But I'm like,
Yeah.
but people are gonna catch on to that and then it's gonna become like we don't trust ourselves as human beings, therefore we must give it to something. And we don't trust God. So AI, we see it, we can smell it, we can interact with it. It's like an idol, like everything
Mm,
else.
mm,
So it just makes sense. Like that is going to be the next transition for a lot of
yeah.
people. It just
Yeah.
and you're seeing it on a macro level, right? We saw that even with Nasdaq in
Yeah.
terms of their transition to tokenizing assets.
Yeah. I seen that. I was
Mind
like,
blowing.
wow, that's
Wow, bro, going
crazy.
global 24/7. Like that's an
NASDAQ.
incredible transition.
That is a incredible
Yes,
transition, bro. Massive transition. Like,
blockchain. That's that. Like
wow.
I was like, wow, like that's huge. I don't think people understand, like, that's a huge announcement, and it just goes to show the direction that things are heading in.
Yeah,
I don't
what you
even I'm
think
still
about
even
that? What you think about that? Like, what you think about the financial system that like the next phase or evolution of the
adopting
financial system?
blockchain.
Yeah, yeah. How do you think that plays into the dynamic of what's going on today?
It just feeds when you already kinda understand what the end game is, the global one world order, the elitists, like, technocrats, when you kinda see it, it just makes sense. Everything is navigating towards this centralized governance, right? Like, that to me, it's just crazy that we're hearing about it and we're seeing it now, which means, like, they're adopting these technologies a lot more sooner than I anticipated. You know what I mean? Like, especially something as Nasdaq, tokenizing, you know what I
That's
mean? Then you got the
major.
stable it's major, bro. Like, the markets is completely changing. Like, they're opening it up. for the world, and also it shows the urgency of going against like China and BRICS, right? Like it's combating that and creating an opportunity for the world to buy into America again. Because obviously you see the bonds, you see the yields, you see all of these. It's all like
Yeah, it just hit me.
it's all yes, bro.
It just hit
It's
me.
yeah,
No, no, no. You're right. The I heard Trump
it's
saying
all connected.
they want to
Tariffs,
make
like it's
the U.S. be the leader in crypto. So instead of do what the old regime did, he's lean. It all makes sense.
oh, it's
He
all
leaned.
there.
Look, check it out. It might. This shit might be genius. It
Nah, I'm
might
sure.
be
Yeah, these
genius.
dudes, we're talking about the most intellectual geniuses of the world coming together. Like this stuff, the things that they're doing is brilliant, bro.
Yo, I get it. So,
Break it down.
yo, I get it. So basically, like the US was scared about crypto. You know what I'm
Terrified.
saying? They put their foot, they put their clamps down on it early, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So Trump and them, when he was out of when after his first term, he got debanked. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like banks wasn't letting him park his money there. You know what I'm saying? So he
Mm,
had to put bread in crypto. His sons was helping him with that,
mm,
right? So he like, nah, now it's like, yo, when I get back in there, I'm gonna make this
mm,
the basis to jumpstart the new American economy. And if we rock with Bitcoin, if we got reserves, everybody gonna put their money in our joint for the stable coin,
mm.
and that's gonna stabilize everything with the US economy as far as the like
100%.
so yeah, it's just crazy because if you got the tariffs, like you're gonna have listen, if the US okay, here's the point.
Not
Foreign investors, foreign investors like to invest in America because of its regulation. Because you
correct.
can't just scam. You can
Security.
scam, but you just can't scam like you could overseas. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like there's a
We don't play
regulation.
with our money. When it comes to
Right.
money, we don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have checks and balances with it, right?
Yep.
So the fact that they already invest in America because of that, now if America becomes the leader in crypto, and places the regulation on it, where you think everybody gonna put their money at? They gonna put their money back into
You've
America.
locked up the next 100 years.
You
It's
locked it
yours.
up. You locked it up.
It's over.
You locked it up.
You're locked
I
in.
get
Like,
it. Yeah, yeah, you're locked in. You
yeah,
got
no, it's a brilliant play. I just
it.
didn't
Yeah.
perceive it. I didn't think it was gonna happen this quick. So
Me
when he
neither.
announced
Me
it, that's
neither.
when I was like, oh wow, things are happening so
It's
fast, bro.
fast. Yeah, it's
One
happening
day
fast.
is like a month. Like the
Yeah,
way things is moving,
yeah. See,
that's what took me off.
if you notice, when we start talking about the business of things, it gets lighter. You know, like the
Yeah,
energy gets lighter. You know what I'm saying? When we
yeah,
talking
it's
about
fun.
yeah, when you talk about the other stuff, it's like
Mm,
there's no progress there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
So
that's
that's
their
why
leaders' mentality, right? That's how they feel. They're like, we don't like dealing with the individual, the social, because it's heavy, it's dark.
yeah,
When we start
yeah,
talking about money and like it becomes monopoly.
yeah.
I get it, bro.
I get it
I
too.
get
I'm
it.
just saying that's why they can't be in that spot because it come with the position. Y'all got to deal
Yeah,
with it because
dude.
y'all the ones
Yeah.
that got the resources. You know what I'm saying?
But are we giving them too much credit and not enough accountability on the flip side when it comes to people? You know what I mean? I
No,
almost
no,
feel
no.
like it's right. Like it,
Yeah. I always
because
think
I
that the
deal with
poor people is the bottom people and the poor people are a significant drag on society because they don't work
significant.
together. You know what I'm saying? And they're some of the most selfish
Yes.
people that exist. No, I'm dead serious. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
know. That's what I'm saying. Like
So
the same archetypes of human beings exist as elites and the poor.
100%, hundred
The poor
percent.
just piss me off because at least
Yeah,
elites, I see why you're blinded. But like you're the poor, I'm just like, why, bro?
right,
You can't
right,
afford not to work together. Like literally, it don't even make sense. Like
thousand
that's like
percent.
it's an arrogance on like the opposite level.
Right. No, 100%. No, I get it.
But
Trust
like,
me. Like,
yeah, it's like one or the other. It's like, nah, both of y'all can get this shit.
yeah,
Both sides. They're like, it doesn't. No, no, I agree.
100%. I think humanity. I always look at humanity in the context of, just humans doing human stuff, man. Uh, Even our best and brightest are just humans, and
Just humans.
there's like a built-in default to f things up when you're a
Yeah.
human. Like we were created We were created perfectly imperfect. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I mean?
Perfectly imperfect as individuals, but as a collective, that's where you become flawless. Because then
Yeah, I'm
everyone can
just
hold
saying
each
this
other
will
accountable. Ideally.
I'm just pointing out the fact that there's this element that's built into humanity that and if we look at it from an Islamic perspective, right? You know, Allah created us. It says you were created weak, and through the religion you're made strong, right? Through practicing the religion you're made strong. And then also we were created for the purpose of worship. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So anything we do that's not in alignment with God puts us at a disadvantage. And then it
Yeah.
also the Quran also tells us that we're supposed to, you know, be in the will of the Creator, right? So that means that
Mhm.
we're supposed to be living a certain way, doing certain things, you know. But if we didn't sin, He'd wipe us out and put us, replace us with
Yeah.
the people who did, just so they could ask for forgiveness, because that's a major part to being human is messing
Yeah.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that you can get the mercy from the Creator.
Or
Because
understand what that mercy is.
right,
Like mercy is such a huge part of who God is that like
right.
without being able to acknowledge your shortcomings, you're neglecting aspect of a relationship with God that would expand that that understanding
Mhm,
of who He really is on such a crazy scale.
mhm.
It's just like it's yeah that yeah no that there's a lot to unfold on that one, but yeah
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, nah, I mean, like, it's become apparent that when we really look at and lean on our faith, we can see that we have the tools equipped to be able to synthesize things so that we can move to another level of humanity. And here's the thing too, like when Elon says that we need a new religion or something like that, right? That new flow is Islam. And
yeah
this is what a lot of people don't be wanting to accept. Like one of my college professors always said, he said, he was like, it was my philosophy professor, right? I took a philosophy class. He said, Judaism is like Windows, right? He said Christianity is like Windows XP and Islam is Windows 2000. And
mm,
this is back in the 2000s
just
when you had,
context yeah
and this is where they talking, talking about the operating systems for the PC. In modern terms, that's did you download Apple's latest update?
yeah
You know what I mean?
yeah
That fixes the bugs in the
yeah
code. You know what I'm saying?
yeah
So it's like, yo, it's the same type of thing. And what they're trying to do is create something that gives humans the lateral to be a way that's counterproductive for them. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So like when we look at the last revelation and the law says on that, yo, on this day I perfected your religion. That means that everything humans need to ascend. Cause see, this is what's not taught. Like it's more understood in the esoteric sense. We're supposed to be trying to reach ascension. Ascension is going from your lower self to
yeah
your higher self. And
yeah
really literally just means you being the best version of yourself that you could be. Our prophet, peace and blessings be
peace
upon
be
him, said that I'm here. I came to perfect character.
yeah
So we need a religion in these days that's about perfecting character because that's where the human condition is lacking at.
yeah
So if we can fix the character, we create better humans, better societies. You see what I'm saying?
better
When that,
technology yeah
right.
or
So
better usage of technology I'd say
there hasn't been also another religion besides Islam that really embraced science. Like the
yeah
science we have today is because the Muslims uh,
yeah in Andalusia
embrace in Andalusia, in Damascus, and
yeah the golden era
yeah, the
Islamic
golden
golden
era.
era algebra just yeah all of it
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, and then you got to look at the people who's in the leadership positions of the religion, because there's
mm,
no doubt that Islam is the fastest growing religion,
yeah
and there's no doubt that when they surveyed, like I brought it up yesterday, you can pull it up too. It's a study that talks about religious people overall being happier than non-religious people. And that's because, they have something greater than themselves to depend on or cope with.
mm,
And out of the religions, the Muslims, are the happiest, right? So
Mm,
the thing that's significant about that is it shows that there is a place for religion, and religion overall is healthy for the human psyche. You see what I'm saying?
of course.
You know what I mean? So when we also look at that, then the religion allows us to start holding people accountable. You can hold Muslims accountable. You can see Muslims today. I see it online all the time. You'll
No, no,
see.
that's literally what I think the elites fear the most. I think they acknowledge the fact that religion makes like everyone else happier, more at peace. It's the accountability part that they don't like that
Mm,
keeps them in check. They're like, yeah, everybody else needs to be put in check. Not me
mm,
though, because
mhm.
I'm
Right,
winning. I got money. These are my right. That's where you see the short sightedness in terms of like being able to understand. No, this is a holistic system.
right,
Everybody gonna be put in check because it's all under God.
right,
Yeah, that's the whole point. But if you just use it to manipulate one end, I think that's where they kind of get the pushback. They're like, "Oh, I recognize like Elon, right? I recognize the need for this for them. He's not talking about himself.
right, right,
He's
right. He's
talking
not talking
about
about himself.
everybody else. He's
Right,
not
that's my
talking about
point.
himself. He's like, I'm
Right,
good.
right.
That's where the problem is, I think.
Hmm. No, 100%. Because if you're not grounded in, excuse me, or rooted in at least like having an understanding of your place in nature, and within the hierarchy that the creator set, then you're going to believe that you're above it all. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And so the accountability that it holds when it's like, okay, you know, you could be Muslim online and do something, and the non-Muslims will call you out and be like, you know, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You Muslim. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So when you look on the other side, like let's look at the evangelical Christians. Nothing they talking about Christ would be down with. Jesus would not be down with none of that stuff y'all talking that all that hate you spewing. Jesus wasn't down with none of that, right? So
Mm,
you can literally in real time hold the people accountable based on the
exactly.
teachings of their prophets.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's how we know it's something that works. This is why they trying to revisit going back to it. Because you know what, bro, I got to find this for you. I'm gonna find that Yuri Bezmenov quote. Because the thing is, Yuri Bezmenov,
Talking about the demoralization of society.
not the demoralization one. Okay, here it goes. 4 minutes. I'm gonna share my screen. Check this out. And you know, this is fair use. This is for fair use purposes. This is it's fair use purposes, man. Don't strike our account for some arbitrary rule or something like that for sharing this joint. Okay, let me share. Okay. You can see that?
Yep.
You can hear it?
Could be stopped right
Yeah.
here, brought to attention. Jodaro area. Those who child
That's powerful.
Come on now.
That's
Yuri
powerful.
Bezmenov.
No, that's powerful. That's like
Technology can't save you.
that's really what the two times two is. That's the equation. That's the logic. That's the rational. That's
That's the
technology.
algorithm. That's exactly. And the guy who figured this out
Damn.
was a computer scientist. Like he said, he's a computer scientist, a computer programmer who figured that like, yo, the only way to stop the decline of a society is you can't lose religion.
And he said like Babylonians, like he's right. Even like in scripture, we know anytime you lose sight of God, like it's just he destroys you. That's like the divine law. Like we know that, and we're seeing that in real time,
And
bro.
he
We're
said
actually living it right
said,
now.
and this was in the 80s. He was
We are
talking about now.
literally, yeah, bro. It's literally Babylon right now. Like if
It
you look
said
at
the only
Babylon,
way
you
to
see
turn it around, the only way to turn it around, like you could be in the middle of a free fall descent. The only way you can turn it back is with faith.
and that is how we will conclude. That is the clarity, right? I mean, that's full circle.
Yeah.
That's what you have to get ready for, like he said, for tomorrow. Like you have to work on your spirit. You have to work on your faith on an individual, like individually. The collective, the world, nothing is gonna help you, bro. Nobody's coming to save you. It's not happening. You have to tap in on your own. I 100%, bro. It resonates, like, even with me, because then nothing else really matters. You realize that nothing really matters. I can go today, you know what I mean? Like the prophet, peace be upon him, live this
Peace be
life like
upon
you're a
them.
stranger, a
Right.
traveler, right? Like you can go at any moment, and being at peace with that is what allows you to then thrive as an individual. And if the collective think like that, you thrive as a society because
Right.
nobody's clinging to anything, nobody's trying to control, nobody's trying to. It's all there, right? And
Right.
so it just naturally solves everything organically. It just takes time and this instant gratification, generation. Everyone wants everything now. It's like that's not how the spirit works. It's not how human development works. Nothing works that way. Not even
Hmm.
technology,
Right.
right? Like we didn't get here overnight. So yeah, faith is everything, man. Faith
Bruh,
is everything.
it's
I am
everything,
like that
bro.
is powerful.
That was powerful, bro. That was powerful. That's what I'm saying. That's why I keep talking about this. Like, although we are centered around like tech a lot, entrepreneur, it's rooted in faith.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's where the roots is at. That's the
yeah,
foundation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the guiding principle to all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You're not going to be able to engineer your way out of the issue that we face as a species. Technology is a tool, but it ain't the solution.
yeah,
The faith is going to guide how we govern ourselves and how we govern collectively and how we manage the resources and the tools. You see? So now after listening to Yuri Bezdomov, he's ex-KG. You
yeah,
know, that's what Putin is. You know, these
yeah,
peoples are masters of psychological warfare. They're
yeah.
masters of it, you know? And he's telling you, only way to turn it around is with faith.
He's like, I've seen it all. I've tested everything. Nothing works the way religion
Nothing.
does.
Nothing. Now, there's one other thing. There was a gene found in humans called, they call it the God gene. It's a literal gene in the DNA code that makes humans believe in God. So you gotta think about
Mm,
that. Like
wow.
the belief in
Wow.
God is encoded in the genes. You see it, right?
Yeah, the God gene. Popularized by Dean Hamer, 2004. Variation of the gene may influence a person's predisposition to spiritual mystical experiences by affecting levels of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin.
Come on, bro.
The God gene, the soul. It's so funny hearing them talk like that. It's fascinating hearing like non-believers talk about it. It's a refreshing perspective because we didn't
Right,
grow up on science, right? So
right,
like
right,
hearing them describe what we know, it's like we have to reverse engineer, but we know all the answers. We just don't
right,
understand any of it. They
right.
understand everything, but they just can't arrive to any conclusion. They don't
Exactly.
want, what I mean? It's like, so I love learning and seeing that perspective. But like you said, we can't engineer ourselves out of ultimately death. And I think that's what everyone's avoiding. You know what I mean? It's this lack of peace and acceptance of death,
Hmm.
right? Like I think that's what people are trying to escape ultimately. And I think a lot of it is rooted in their perception of God, man. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us are given a jaded perspective of who He is,
Hmm.
and in reality, that's the devil. That's
Yeah,
not
that's a
God. Like
fact.
God, I think people have to relearn who God is and experience Him for themselves, not through an imam, not through a scholar, not through a teacher. I'm actually reading a crazy book, incredible book, Siddhartha, but like
Okay.
fascinating, man. Like, so he kind of goes through that whole journey, even in
Yeah,
the Alchemist. I mean, but like, yeah, everyone has to. You have to develop your own relationship with God. On
yeah,
in Islam, like you said, Islam for me, I mean, that's everything.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I think that's the clarity moving forward for tomorrow, based on this podcast. Is like faith. Like you're right, and we'll probably touch on it more, but
yeah,
we'll ease our way into it and understanding our audience. But faith is everything, man. Don't get it
yeah, yeah,
twisted.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Don't get it
nothing
twisted.
matters without faith.
Right,
Nothing.
and this is the other element. This is what the right
We really should
wing,
be tomorrow, inshallah.
inshallah. Yeah, 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 yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna be
Inshallah. Yeah, right, for real, right? But again, the right wing, that's their point too. They're trying to reclaim uh the value system of religion. You know what I'm saying? And Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Like at least this is what they're marketing. You know what I'm saying? Is that
yeah,
they need to get back to being centered in their faith and this, that, and third. And again, uh, in 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 Islam, you know, if there's a conflict between if there's a conflict, we're supposed to side with the Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to side with the others who the only other issue though is that they don't, be trying to side back with us.
Yeah, they're trying to appease the Jews, and it's
Yeah.
like a
But faith itself, in general, we're supposed to side with the people of the book, right? And it's
people
funny
in the book.
too, when you look at it, all the people of the books are the ones running the world. The Christian,
Yeah,
Muslims, and Jews are the ones that
literally,
run the
bro.
world. I mean, only
It's
outliers
hilarious.
outside of that is China. They whole thing is philosophy. But yeah, outside of that, the world is ran by Muslims, Christians, and Jews. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey,
so, exactly, we're supposed. So either way, a place of faith is a better place to be than a place of no faith at all. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah, with that, I'll just leave that as my final statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Yuri Bezdomov. Y'all go check that
no,
out.
that's
But that
facts,
was,
man.
yeah, you know what I'm
That was deep.
saying?
That was good, man. That was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was. Now we definitely gonna have more videos. I know you can pull it up like that. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna send you some
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
clips
yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'll do the
Definitely.
research. You go pull up the clips, bro.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
But yeah,
Flip
shout
it
out
up.
to probably
So
reconnect on Monday. Get this
yeah,
out, and then
yeah,
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more to talk about. But yeah, I mean, this was another incredible podcast, man. Incredible
yeah, for
discussion,
sure.
as always. Great way to end it.
Absolutely. I'm love, man.
All right, man.
Peace, salute, I'm
Good
like
luck.